Hey everyone, how's it going? Geek here, and today I have another awesome video for you guys. Before we get started, go ahead and smash the sub button down below if you haven't already. It helps out the channel a ton and keeps me coming back to bring you guys more great content. Working on the Flash game has been an amazing experience. Lots of ups and downs with development, building an amazingly supportive community, dealing with the occasional hater in my DMs and comments, but also getting to tackle a game concept people typically thought was impossible. Over the years, people have asked why there aren't any good video games based on their favorite superheroes. I mean, we know it's not impossible to make a good superhero game. We've had tons of good Batman games, Insomniac Games knocked it out of the park with Spider-Man, Wolverine looks like it's going to be a great game too, and we can just ignore 2020's Marvel The Avengers. Seriously though, there have been numerous examples of good superhero games over the years. Sure, not every superhero game is perfect, a lot of them are honestly real stinkers, but there are times where we get seriously awesome video games. So, if it worked for the likes of Batman and Spider-Man, why would people think it can't work for characters like Flash or Superman? The arguments typically boil down to how the powers and abilities are implemented into the gameplay. This is what separates characters like Batman and Spider-Man from characters like Flash and Superman. While Batman and Spider-Man are amazing characters in their own rights, with a wide variety of abilities and gadgets at their disposal, they're more grounded than characters like Superman or Flash, which makes it easier to base a game off them. In order to make a good superhero game, the player needs to be faced with difficult challenges that they can overcome, like how the character would in their respective comic, TV show, or movie. I'm not saying the game needs to be Dark Souls difficult or anything like that, but it needs to have stakes in order to be interesting. The same concept applies to superhero movies as well, with the main character needing some kind of challenge, either emotional or physical, that they can overcome by the end of the movie. That's easy to do with a character like Spider-Man, Batman, or any other character that's had a decent game over the years. They can get hurt, run into difficult situations, or even be killed by the things they're up against, and that's what helps sell a good superhero game. The gameplay helps drive the narrative with challenges and obstacles. Characters like Superman or Flash can't be developed the same way though. They're the type of hero that isn't grounded in reality. Superman is literally invulnerable to everything except magic or kryptonite, can move faster than light, has near limitless strength, and never gets tired. There is literally nothing you can do that would actually be of any kind of threat to him. The same goes for the Flash. Depending on what version of the character we're talking about, he can run faster than physics even allows, can phase through objects, punch you with a literal infinite mass punch, travel through time, rapidly heal, and more. With these powers, how can you put a health bar on either of them and expect the player to not get annoyed if regular bullet fire from some random street thug takes them out? The adversity you make the player face has to match the character they're playing. For the Flash, my brother and I realized there are ways to humanize him more in order to make the story compelling. Basing the project on the CW Flash, though, severely depowers the character, making him more realistic and taking away a majority of his more overpowered abilities. The CW Flash is prone to error, has been shot by things, has been injured by his rogues gallery, he's even been close to death a few times. People haven't tried reimagining Superman though, and that's why most games based on Superman just aren't that great, because it's hard for developers to create challenges for the player when they're playing as a literal god tier character. So the question is, can you make a good Superman game? Pretty much every version of the character is severely overpowered, so you can't just base the game on a series like my brother and I did with the Flash. So what can you do? Take away his powers? Give every villain kryptonite? Only have him fight magic users? In small doses that may be fine, but definitely not for a full game. No, but there is a way to make the game compelling though. See, I find developers often try too hard to adapt a pre-existing character to a video game. The studio takes liberties, some content gets cut, maybe some of their abilities get scrapped, all to make the character fit the basic format of a video game. They get a health bar, maybe a stamina meter, and they follow the basic rules of a game. Run out of stamina, you stop doing whatever costs that stamina. You run out of health, you're dead. Those rules may work for characters like Batman or Spider-Man or even Flash if you use less powerful versions of the character, but they could never apply to Superman. We've already said that he's invulnerable and has near limitless strength, so you can't really slap a health bar or stamina meter on this guy and expect gamers to have a good time with it. So when I was making a Superman demo overnight just seems to be my gimmick now, I was about to make the same mistake and put those basic values on a character where those values have no meaning. To make a Superman game really fun and challenging, you have to adapt your game to the character rather than the other way around. Don't make the character play by the rules of a video game, make the game conform to the rules of the source material. In the comics, cartoons, movies, or whatever, the only real danger to Superman comes from characters like Doomsday or Darkseid, characters that can match his godlike abilities. Kryptonite is also a threat, but he usually manages to find a way around it. The point is though, Superman is never in any danger for most of the stories. Thugs shooting guns or supervillains trying to rob a bank aren't going to hurt him. They are going to hurt civilians though. They can destroy the city. Stopping that from happening is what Superman is all about. That's what he's usually doing in normal day-to-day superhero shenanigans. Stopping collateral damage as much as possible. Saving lives. That's how you make a good Superman game. That might sound crazy, but hear me out. Imagine a Superman game where you have a standard health bar and a few abilities. You're in the middle of a mission, knee-deep in random enemies, and you fall over dead because you took too much enemy fire. How annoyed would you be? Superman, the literal god amongst men, died because he was shot to death by random NPC enemies. Now imagine the same game, no health bar, all your abilities. You're just casually strolling through enemy gunfire because that's just what Superman does, and you're disarming and restraining enemies before they hurt or kill someone else. There can be hostage situations, time-sensitive missions, real problems that Superman would actually face and potentially lose. The difficulties you face in-game would be emotional rather than physical because that's what Superman deals with in his stories. So, can you make a good Superman game? I think so. With the right narrative and a focus on actual hardships the character faces normally, I think that you can make a pretty fun game. I think it would be awesome to fly around as Superman, walk through enemy fire, taking hit after hit and walking away without a scratch. Still having that adrenaline pumping though, because you have to save someone before it's too late. That would be pretty cool. You could also still have Superman fight characters like Doomsday 2 to add more variety to the gameplay, which would only make the game more exciting. Going from an invincible god character to having the shit kicked out of you by a character capable of matching your strength would be such a cool concept for the game. That's just my take on it though. I really want to hear everyone's thoughts in the comments down below. Do you agree that a Superman game is possible, and if so, what would you hope to see in it? If not, what about the character do you think makes it impossible to make a game about him? Anyway guys, that's all I have for you today. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe and comment down below. Also be sure to join the Discord server, and if you can, consider subbing to the Patreon. It supports the channel and you can participate in the upcoming closed build testing for the Flash game. You could even become an NPC for the game too. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you all in the next one.